I hear my wife coming.
Yep, here comes the wife.
So here's what's really cool about this is that when I have actually been blessed to watch our guests go through this journey. Like, I built an awesome relationship with her husband. Him and I've had, and Melissa can tell you this, I get goosebumps when I think about it right now, is that I've had some really emotional conversations with her husband. Like person to person, real deep, intimate conversations. Like, hey, Ryan, go talk to Mike, right? Like, hey, I think you should go talk to Mike. And then when I taught LifeVantage Academy in Denver, Ryan came, and I just remember looking at him, and I remember how emotional he was. And Melissa can tell you this, Ryan's not the most emotional guy. Like, he's really quiet and calm and even keeled, right? She's smiling, so she'll probably agree with me on this. But the coolest thing about that is watching people go through this journey and watching them grow and change. Like, probably, and she'll probably tell you more about that. I'm going to mute everybody just real quick. Hold on one second, guys. So let's, and then Melissa can unmute herself. Are you looking at me like I should probably do that? Okay, I'll do that. So here's what I've learned. That the most important thing that you have in LifeVantage, and I love this shirt because last year Lisa and I went on the legacy trip. Melissa, did you go on that trip too? No? Have you been on one yet? Okay, but that's in your radar, I bet. So, but here's, let me tell you why. I probably know why Melissa did. She has 6 kids. And so I'll do a little introduction, then I'll let her take over. And I want to share some things at the end that I think are super important for you guys, is that we are in a, if you guys didn't hear me, I said I'm going to have Amy Holmwood next week on the call. Guys, we just created another Pro 10, and there's more on the way. Like, I know Clinton Boyles is getting close. There's a lot of people that are getting close. I know Tar Wilson is getting close. Guys, if you can't see what's happening after the last couple calls, I just want to tell you, I've been getting information from people who have really been running, okay? And if you make Pro 7 in 2 years and you've never done this before and you're a stay-at-home mom with 6 kids, you're doing something right? Like, Lisa's laughing because I know that, and Melissa and I have some really funny quirks when we've said stuff to each other. I always pick on her, she picks on me. It's just kind of a funny thing, and we like it. Like, those are real friendships. Those are real relationships. Those are, there's 3 things that you always want to know when you have a deep, long-lasting relationship. And if you're writing this down, I pray you write this down and use it when you're sharing with people. You have to find people. Here's what people want to know if they're going to follow you or do business with you. They have to know you, they have to like you, and they have to trust you. If you find those type of people, you'll find a leader in this business. And let me explain something to you. I've found some recently in my organization, and they're on this call tonight. And it takes sacrifice. It takes commitment. It takes a lot of things that a lot of people have, but and at the end, I'm going to share something after Melissa shows about what happens when people tell us no, okay? When people tell us no, it's really funny. And I'm going to share this, and then I'm going to introduce Melissa. Obviously, Lisa and I have moved away, as most of you guys know. I spent 27 years in Clearwater, and you spent 20 years there, right?
Yep.
And so to most people, getting up and leaving doesn't make sense, right? How many people know that that's different when you leave something that you've been at over 20 plus years, right? You just get up, and as Tracy and Stacy were saying to me, no wonder you still haven't got completely moved in after a week because you got lots of stuff, right? But it's different when you're moving into a place that's almost twice the size of where you were living before also. It's kind of fun because you got lots of space. Mrs. Huey has her own closets. I have my own closets now. Which
trying to figure out where to put everything. It's already organized. It's like I put something in, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna move it over there.
Or I move it.
Yeah.
Because she puts things away in the kitchen knowing that she's not gonna be the one in the kitchen, right? So those of you who don't know, I do all the cooking, which is fun. Yep. I love to cook. But here's what I want to share with you guys. I had a conversation yesterday at a men's group at church, okay? And a guy that I've built, Lisa and I are going to a church that we've been seasonally going to when we come to visit my dad. And I've known the pastor for 13 years, right? So great transition. And I met a guy, Tim, who goes to the church, who was in LifeVantage, had a sucky upline, which there's nothing against that. Guys, that does happen, just so you know. All right? It does happen. All right? We all know that, right? Some of them, how many people do you know that, how many people do you know that your upline might have even disappeared in the business, right? I know Paulette can raise her hand, but she's still here, all right? And she's still going, right? And she's not quitting, right? And you know, here's the thing about this. When you have a moral obligation to finish what you started, you don't look back. You know, I say this all the time, and I don't say this to be mean, but I haven't seen anybody leave LifeVantage and be successful anywhere else. This hasn't happened, all right? And so Tim said to me, Mike, I feel like I need to start over. Maybe I need to re-enroll with you. I was like, okay, right? Why? Because I built a solid relationship with Tim, and I loved him, and he was cross-line. From way before this, he was even in LifeVantage. And then he found out that his upline was cross-recruiting and doing all stuff. And he had other people in his organization that didn't care for his upline. They just were going to run right by his upline, right? And so he realizes now that, you know, and his wife got hurt. You guys know that people can get hurt. And then she crawled up into a ball. But now I know the person that can connect with her. Lisa and her connected one day. They had an emotional talk in the hallway at church. So those are the type of relationships you build. You know why? And Tim said it. He said, Mike, you know what? I feel like I can trust you. Knows me, likes me, and trusts me, right? That's the biggest thing. So I know I got off a little bit there, but I was praying before we got on about what to say. And so, guys, you've heard me talk about Melissa Brown a little bit. She's really funny. She just put, we moved from a camper into a 4-bedroom house and we filled the entire empty space fast. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? I was just looking at a picture of Melissa's beautiful children. Let me just see if this is still on here. Oh, okay. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but let me just share this with you guys because it's really cool. I have to admit to her, did not look at a picture of her children yet, but wow, are they beautiful? Like,
I love that picture.
Yeah, like look at them, guys. Look at them. Are they awesome or what? And Paulette's got grandchildren, so she knows how that rolls. She's got 2 kids and grandkids, and so this is an awesome picture of Melissa's family. Just look at this guy down here. He's looking at all his siblings saying, they're smiling. Why am I not smiling, right? And so, yeah, that's an awesome thing. So I'm going to let Melissa take it over. You guys heard she homeschools 6 kids. Wow. Like poor you and Ryan, poor Ryan, right? You got, no, okay. So I'm going to let Melissa take it over, and then I'm going to share a little bit at the end. And I hope that you guys, if you see people that aren't on here, you'll text them and let them know that we've got started, because you guys really need to hear from Melissa. So I'm going to unmute her, and then I'm going to, I think I am.
Yep, I'm unmuted.
Yay. All right. And guys, and thanks for joining us at the last minute. And the reason I like recently, Melissa, to have everybody, I used to always turn cameras off, but I started making people keep their camera on, and I'll just tell you this. I can tell what they're doing, whether they're paying attention or not. And I'll tell you who made me do that was Sherry. And here's why I did it. I did it because you know this from being around Sherry too, that Sherry doesn't sit still very much, right? And at the last Building Depth, she sat down during my presentation and completely focused on what I was saying. And I'd never seen her do that before. And she said, you know why, Mike? Because you respect me and you've always had your camera on, and I wanted to make sure that I was completely paying attention to you. So I hope that you guys have your pens and your paper ready tonight, and that you'll just let Melissa pour into you. And so I thank God tonight for Melissa, and I'm going to run with this. All right, guys, let's go.
Thank you. Oh, Michael and Lisa, thank you so much. Thank you for calling me. Like, when I get this message that says, brand new Pro 10 Amy Homewood was supposed to be on, but she can't, could you? I'm like, what universe am I living in? Yes, I would gladly step in for Amy Homewood. She's amazing. Amazing. Thank you. Man, you guys are just blessed me. And it's no accidents what you were sharing about, because because I said, what do you want me to talk about? And he said, just whatever's on your heart, whatever God's speaking to you, you just speak it. And it ties right in with what you were saying. Weird. I want to talk real quick about the camera situation. So this is something that's very important to me, because like my energy feeds off of you guys. And when it's all no pictures, it is seriously like standing in front of your refrigerator, like 2 inches from your refrigerator, and giving a presentation. It is extremely difficult. My very first Zoom, okay, like we went gangbusters, right? Like I'll get to our story, but we were like going Mach 10, and we'd only been doing in-person meetings really. And then we decided to start doing Zoom opportunity meetings. And my first one, like everybody and their dog got on, because they were like, oh, Melissa must have some magic sauce, right? Like she's growing so fast. So there was like 100 people watching me, and it was atrocious. I wish I would have recorded it, because it was really bad. But it is hard to have the same kind of energy on video like this as it is in person. And so your guys' cameras on, you guys looking at me, smiling, nodding, like it really, 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 really helps the speaker. So thank you. You know, I was just talking to, I don't actually homeschool 6 kids. I sent 2 of them away. They were driving me crazy, but no. My 2 oldest teens, one's a junior and one's a freshman. We actually were traveling full-time when we found LifeVantage. And after about 1.5 years in the business, we settled down in Colorado Springs. A lot of our upline live here in Colorado Springs, and they invited us for Christmas, and we just stayed. We love it here. But we found a charter school for entrepreneurs. And so I sent my 2 oldest there, because I was like, 80 kids in your high school and it's all based on entrepreneurship. Yep. Yeah, you go. I'll stay with the little kids. So I was talking to my son's teacher though the other day, and we were talking about phones in the school, and he's like, it's such an epidemic, and the kids are always on these phones. I don't understand why they don't just get taken away, but I'm joining some school board situations now because I'm going to voice my opinion on that. But the teacher was saying that.
You voice your opinion?
Does that sound weird?
Just kidding.
I know. I'm like, yeah. The Lord has blessed me with the gift of boldness. Okay. So, but he was saying that these kids, they had guest speakers in, and the kids were on their phone the whole time. These guest speakers were standing there talking to the team and to their class. And I'm like, did the speaker say anything? And they said, yeah. And I said, man, they just, like, it's so sad. It's so disrespectful. And that teacher said, I don't think those kids even know that what they're doing is disrespectful. And honestly, and I don't say this to bring condemnation to you that have your cameras off. It's like, take it. But honestly, I think it's kind of the same thing. Like, you guys just don't know that your energy feeds us, and we love when your face is on here. No matter if you look busted, your hair is crazy, like you're in your car, whatevs. Just not in the bathtub. That's awkward. But okay, so I'll tell you my story, because I love to talk. Michael's like,
is that what you said?
Yeah, don't do it in the bathtub. That's.
And you know what? Yeah, it's funny you say that, because Melissa, at Building Depth, I made everybody get off their phone when I started my presentation. Like everybody, even Russell and Tracy. And I called Tracy out. I said, hey, Tracy, I'm getting ready to start. You can stop playing with your phone. But yeah, I'm glad you.
No, the very first Building Depth I went to, all the speakers sat on the stage, and they sat at the back of the stage, and then the presenter stood in the front, and like they're sitting back there on their phone, like we're watching them on their phones. I was like, we need to swap that around. I voiced my opinion on that. Okay, so Michael wanted me to tell you my story. I'll tell you my story, and then I'll teach you my teaching. We were traveling full time. We had been working in the oil field. My husband had been up in North Dakota, and we were just there to pay off student debt. When my husband graduated, there was nothing in his industry, blah, blah, blah. We moved there. We flipped a couple houses. We had a food truck. The kids ran a food truck with me. I always had a business. I've sold on Etsy, Amazon, Facebook. I love I love people. I sold Pampered Chef. I sold some games, but I'd never built an empire like I am now. Like, I just honestly, I didn't have the opportunity for people before, right? Like, whenever I did a business, I always taught my friends how to do it. Then they became my competition, and that was awkward, especially in a small town. But now it is my job to build teams, and I absolutely love it. But anyhow, we were living up in North Dakota. Was not our dream destination, wasn't where our family was from, wasn't Ryan's dream job. And I'm like, life is too short. We're not doing this. I was making a little bit of money online, so we ended up selling everything, moving our kids into the camper, and we took off. Before that, I had been fishing in some Facebook groups for people for another business idea I had. And so I was just building this group to educate them to show up as an authority figure in that niche, and then sell to them when my product was ready. Well, when I was doing that, I ran across Jason Kokenzie. So I don't know if you know him, but he is my direct upline. Met him in a Facebook group, invited him to my Facebook group, started chatting with him. Him and I argue a lot about how this all went down. I'm really excited in Cancun. He gets to interview me about how this all went down, and I get to set the record straight in front of everybody. But I'm like, why didn't you tell me about this sooner? He says he sent me a video. I think he sent me some video about nutrigenomics that was 30 minutes long, but I have 6 kids and I was running like 3 small businesses at the same time. And I don't love science. Okay, I don't. It's not my jam. I love business and I love people, and I'm learning the science that I need to do this business. And I like natural health. Like, I'm into those things, but I couldn't have told you what mitochondria did or was 2 years ago. Not at all. So he sent me this video. I watched like 10 seconds of it and turned it off, and that was it. Well, we were traveling full time, and like in that picture that you saw, that is just outside of St. George, Utah. And so we were camped out there. My husband is from that area, so we spent a lot of time actually down there visiting family that we hadn't seen in forever. And I saw on his Instagram, it says like location, and it said St. George, Utah. Well, the day before, he'd been in North Carolina because they were also traveling full time with their family. And so we would chat back and forth and stuff. So I reached out and I was like, "You're in St. George? I'm in St. George. Like, what are you doing here?" And he said, "I'm here giving a talk on creating generational wealth for entrepreneurs." And I was like, "Can I come to that?" I want to go see that. It's like, I invited myself. I followed. Just pray for Melissa Brown, who's like, "What?" But then you have to fish with the right bait, right? Like, if he would have said, "I'm here giving a talk on nutrigenomics," I'd have been like, "Oh, that's interesting. Maybe we should get dinner later." Like, I would not have invited myself to that class. So we went to Building Depth, not knowing what LifeVantage was, not knowing what Building Depth was, having no clue. And back then it was like a half a day Friday and then an all day Saturday event. So Ryan, my husband, and we went to the Friday night training, and I took pages of notes, like pages, but I was just going to apply it to my businesses. I honestly was not looking to join a network marketing business. I was like, I liked the model and I thought I might start my own someday, but I wasn't really looking to join somebody's thing. But then I kept listening to them and I heard these people share, and I loved their honesty, integrity, like that's my jam. Like, be really, really real with me. And that is what I kept hearing. And I kept seeing their team love on each other, and the door knockers have arrived. I'm going to try and ignore those. But so after that meeting, we really were impressed with the people, but we had no idea what LifeVantage was because they just really talked business building strategies and things there. So we hung out, we had dinner with people after, and then the next day we couldn't go. I had to source products for my other business. I was buying and selling things on Amazon. So I had to go shopping for this job, and I didn't have the freedom to go to this other class. But we did the research, and my husband looked into it, and he's like, "Melissa, this is like amazing actually." And we followed up with Jason We asked him a million questions. We were like, Ryan's like, tell me step by step the entire compensation plan, like how exactly this works. Jason's like, I've never had anyone ask me that before. But you know, like we wanted to know everything. And so we signed up. And honestly, still at that point, we thought it would be a tool in our tool belt. I had a website I was growing. I had all, you know, I'm the entrepreneur with a million creative ideas, right? And so I thought, oh, this will just be a tool. But we kept going to Building Depth, and we would hear these stories. And I mean, Michael Huey, your story is one of my favorites. I love to tell people it all the time. Like, guys, follow up is key, right? Like, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about is consistency. So that's what we're going to talk about. But you know, his enroller was consistent. He consistently showed up, and now Michael is where he is, which is so awesome.
And Melissa, he happens to be on tonight, which is funny that you bring that up.
Oh, awesome. Make yourself known. Who is this?
Daniel Bernard. He's over here. He doesn't have his camera.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
He's a pro 8. He's a pro 8 in the company.
Is he in the Midwest?
He's here. He's in Florida. He's in
Florida. Okay. There's another, okay. There's somebody else in the company with a similar name that I've seen on Facebook Lives. I don't know. Okay. So we signed up. Oh yeah. So we went there and we kept seeing normal people that had made significant income. And we saw it over and over and over. And I'm like, okay, put the blinders on, Melissa. Like, let's get laser focused and let's do this. And so that's what we did. And that was probably like in March. It was in March. And so most of our people that we knew were in North Dakota. So we'd been calling people, we were doing Zoom calls and things. But then we had to wait for the snow to melt because I may be crazy enough to live with 6 kids in a camper, but I am not crazy enough to go live in the snow with 6 kids in a camper. So we had to wait till the 1st of May, like ridiculous. That's why we don't live there anymore. And I'm sorry if you live there. I don't want to offend anyone, but yeah, no, not for me. We went up there and then we just did meeting. Jason flew out and he did 1 weekend of meetings. I really just pointed everyone to him. And I think that is such a blessing of being the new person. And honestly, just, I don't know, if I'd been in 5 years, I maybe would still just, I don't want to say fake it, but really build up the third party. Really build up the third party. Use those third party tools because it shows people they don't have to be an expert. I'm telling you over and over, I see doctors have the hardest time recruiting, guys, because people think they have to be a doctor. You don't have to be a doctor. Honestly, the best thing for you is to be dumb. The more awkward, the more dumb, the more you just use third party tools. I'm telling you, I don't want to call out people on my team, but you would not believe who is really successful. It is awesome. And it's just, and I would just say, I don't know much. I'm just learning about this, but Jason is a master entrepreneur. He knows this stuff inside and out. He's going to show it to you because I honestly can't. And then I would put them in front of him.
Can you say that again?
Yeah. One more time with people in the back. Okay. I would say.
Because not only about 10% of people use a third-party validator. And that's why only 10%
right.
Are successful. So I'm glad you said that. Thank you.
And it's like, use the videos, use your Facebook groups, use what you have because people need to know they don't have to be an expert to do it, right? The easier you can make it. Like I heard this person talking the other day and they said they were at a meeting and the lady was just like shaking at the board and super awkward and horrible. And then she shared how much money she made. And they said the entire room signed up because they're like, if she can do it, I can do it, right? And that's what I saw at Building Depth. Okay, I shouldn't say it wasn't that bad, but there was a couple people that I was like, for real? Like, how much money are they? What? And guys, it just takes consistency. It really does. Let's see, I was looking up, there was a quote in my head that I kept hearing, but I couldn't find it exactly. But I want to read you a couple things that I did find on consistency. Tony Robbins says, it's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives. It's what we do consistently. Zach Frazier says, the key to success is consistency. Dwayne Johnson says, success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come. And that's, I don't know if you guys picked a word for the year. Uh-oh, how do I, technology, it's not my fave. Oh, here we go. Okay. I don't know if you guys picked a word for your year. I had not in the past, but I did this year. And this year, my word is consistency. And I've been gentle with myself because there's a lot of things that I want to be really consistent at, but I also want to keep to those promises I make to myself. So could you, for those of you watching, like with your cameras on, will you raise your hand? I know a lot of us, we build on social media and off social media, and I agree with both of those things, but is anybody on here like really trying to build with social media? A couple people. Okay. So, but consistency shows up in real life and on social media, right? Like it's a loud world out there and you need to be in front of people. People need to see you, your heart, your message all the time. Whether that's at a networking thing, like I don't know if you joined BNI, if you did that. If you're, you know, if you go to all your son's baseball games, and I'm not saying talk life advantage at the baseball games. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying build relationships, help people to like, know, and trust you. Huh, did we hear that earlier? Right? Right? Yeah, see, we're on the same level here. But you know, especially like on social media, there are so many voices, like you have to keep saying the thing. And it might seem like, I've already said that a million times. Keep saying it, keep being you. I'm telling you, I think a lot of times people want to know, how did you guys hit Pro 7 in under 2 years? We had been networking for 20 years, but we just didn't have a business to bring our network into, right? We had traveled, we loved on people, we know great people, and we have integrity. People know that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. People know they can trust me because I'm consistent, right? And if you're the same all the time, like you can follow me on Facebook, like don't friend request me. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep those for people that I'm trying to prospect, but feel free to follow me. Sherry, will you type my full name, Melissa Lottie Brown, in the comments for me, please?
It's so fun to say that because, you know, I just taught this to our groups the last couple about how I got rid of Stacy.
You muted yourself.
I said, people, I just taught, Stacy's shaking his head, so is Tracy, because I just taught this and I teach it at Life Advantage Academy about not getting everybody on in Life Advantage on your Facebook page and literally getting rid of as many of them as you can. And I know it sounds rude, but like I heard Melissa just say this, like we want to follow people, but we don't want them seeing all our stuff.
Yeah. Follow them, but you don't need to friend them. So you can still see, like, if there's leaders that, like, I follow a few people in our company and outside of our company. There's a gal I just absolutely love, and she hit Pro 10 in under 2 years in her company. So whatever that girl does, I'm like, yes, I will do like you say, right? So find your people, and you don't have to join their company to listen to their training, right? Just soak it up, and if it doesn't apply, let it fly, right? Okay, so I get off on tangents occasionally. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I like going on Facebook Live. I love sharing, I love teaching, but I'll tell you, I am the same on camera as off camera. Like most of my people on my Facebook are people I really know in real life. Like they're my friends that I've collected as I've moved around like this is just how we stay in touch. So some of my top leaders, my top leader is a homeschooling mom of 8 kids. Guys, this girl, April Thornton, she is amazing. She got 3rd place in the March Madness thing. You know, when a homeschooling mom of 8 kids is up there with Sherry Hollenbeck, pay attention. Like this girl's amazing. And I'll tell you, she taught our team one day, she says, I don't schedule any time for Life Advantage. None. She was telling us about her day. She has timers in her phone that come on for, now it's math time, now it's English, now we do lunch, now swap the laundry, right? Her whole phone tells her what to do. And she says she schedules 0 time for Life Advantage, but she does Life Advantage every break she has. Whenever she's sitting in the car waiting for a kid, whenever there's one moment, she is consistently building and she plans her stuff ahead. She's amazing. She'll be in Cancun if you're coming.
Where is she located? Is she in the Atlanta area?
Yep. Yep.
Destiny just said that she comes to the Atlanta LVA. Destiny is one of my new leaders in that area who is totally
Awesome.
for this life. So I'm so glad you said that. That's awesome.
Yeah. April is amazing. And she is a friend of mine. We met, oh gosh, 12 years ago, I think, in MOPS, and we stayed connected through Facebook. And then I shared a bit about LifeVantage on my Facebook. I did not say LifeVantage. I was talking about some herbs, because herbs is not very Googleable. That if you say little yellow pill, you can search that and find that out really quick, right? But you can be vague. I say we started on some pills, and now we're working really hard on being compliant. So we would talk now about lifestyle changes and not disease names, right? We're all working on that. But she saw that and she said, what is this? I need to know now. And this girl it's been awesome how it's affected their family. And now she's doubled their family's income in a year and a half. It's pretty amazing. So I love to use her as an example. If anybody ever is like, I don't have time. Really? Well, let me tell you about a friend of mine. No, we don't want to say that, right? Like, you know, the thing that, oh, I felt that way too. And then I met this girl, April Thornton. She homeschools 8 kids and she's done amazing. And now I know if I really want to do it, I can make this happen too, right? Okay. But consistency. So really, like, a lot of that is being on this call. Like those of you that are on this call that made the time, that put it in your calendar, that carved out the time, like this is vital. I made a Facebook Live about this yesterday, actually. When you guys make your business a priority, it tells the people around you that your business is a priority, right? And I drives me crazy. Especially I'll just pick on somebody here. I'm looking at Linda. Hi, Linda. Thanks for having your camera on, being here. Let's imagine that Linda is like building a team, like, right? She's got, 3 distributors right now. And her goal is, she's like, I want to be Pro 7 tomorrow. Okay. But then, it's her birthday one night and it's a call and she's like, I'll just miss it tonight. And then next week it's like her grandson's baseball game and she's like, I'm just gonna miss it tonight. Your 3 distributors are watching everything you do. And when you are consistent, they will be consistent. But if you make excuses, they will make excuses. Your consistent excuses will cause them to make consistent excuses, right? So it's just like, we have to decide what we want. And honestly, like, it's okay if your goal is to be a Pro 3 and you're just like, I just want to go to events and I just want to have fun. I want to take the products. I'm going to be Pro 3. That's all I need. That's awesome. Do that. If your goal is to be an elite, you need to start acting like an elite right now. I'm telling you, I thought I was a Pro 7 way before I was a Pro 7. People asked me, like, it was so weird. It was like so in here. Somebody asked me what level, is that the word? I'm so new. Yeah, whatever. What rank? That's the word, right? Whatever rank I am. And I was like, I'm a Pro 7. Wait, no, I almost lied to you there. I'm sorry. No, I'm a Pro 6. But, like one of my gals I love, she says, I'm a Pro 10. I'm just, passing through this Pro 4 or whatever she was at right now. That's how her mindset. And I like that. But honestly, if this is what you want, you have to decide that, like, this is going to come first, and you're going to have to be consistent with coming to the trainings, with getting on these Zoom calls. Like, people notice. You might think no one will notice if I'm not there. They notice. They really, really do. And they think, oh, I can just watch the replay. And it's nice having a replay, but it is not the same. Like, you can't ask me your questions. We don't have the same thing. I don't get to call you out. Like, I got to call Linda out, right? Like, you miss out on that fun. Okay. I could seriously talk for 20 years. I don't know how long we've been talking. A while. Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right. I love it. I love it. So let's do this. Let's see if there's anybody, because here's what's great about this, and it's really funny. I mean, you guys know it. It's so funny. This is how, because when I was praying before the call and how it all went down, like, literally, I've been telling my team for months and months and months, no little yellow pill. Go and look that up. You've lost them, okay? Paulette's laughing because I told her that years ago. No little yellow pill, right? So people, sometimes we're hard-headed. Raise my hand. I'm hard-headed. Melissa's outspoken. I'm hard-headed, right? And we have Melissa and I have this kind of funny joke because Melissa said this one time. She said she's about to figure out what I'm about to say,
Yeah,
right?
I'm like, oh, I wonder which one. Well, which one are we going to say?
She said because she knew I was a fitness trainer and a health coach. She's like, Michael, you know you don't have to be fit to be a Pro 7. No, it was just the way you said it, because I was talking about, you know, presenting ourselves, and you did it in a joking manner, which was funny, and I was like, yeah, you're right, you don't have to be.
I mean, it's a great goal, but
yeah.
I don't even remember that conversation. That's so funny.
It was funny the way you said it, but it was funny. It was just funny. But and
I would say, you know, just real quick about the herbs thing, like especially I live in Colorado, so a lot of times if I say it's like herbs, but it's not the herb, right? Because then so that's kind of how I usually say that. But
right, the herb. So let's
CBD is so big, everybody's like, oh, it must be that. No, not that.
Well, let's see if there's anybody that has questions, because I know some, and maybe it's something that off the cuff, like, you know, that somebody's been thinking about as you've been talking. So let me ask you guys this, and guys, don't be shy. The way you grow from these calls is you're actively interactive. Stacy and I are in a group with my friend George Bryant, and it's interactive. Like George is in there giving massive value every single day, and you're interactive. And I told Stacy, I was super interactive with George, and I went out and signed in my coaching business, and I signed up $25,000 in clients in 1 month. And actually, it's really funny. Melissa knows a couple of them. So, but the funny of them, and they're in Europe. But the funny thing about it is that allowed me to take that stuff and implement it into LifeVantage. And it's all about building relationships, guys. I'm just going to tell you this: there is nobody within a 20-mile radius that is involved in LifeVantage from where Lisa and I live. Okay. There's a Pro 6 an hour away on the other side of Orlando, in the way other side of Orlando. But guys, I feel like I'm in the missions field. You guys know, I told Lisa this the other day, I have so many contacts right now since we've only been here a week. And I've just been meeting person after person after person. And I've been using LinkedIn and looking at people around me and just building relationships. So now's your chance to build a relationship with Melissa and ask a question and learn and grow from somebody who's doing what it takes to make it happen. So does anybody want to unmute themselves and ask a question?
I got a question
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Go ahead, Stacy.
you. Are you using the 421 system for your Facebook posts? Or you just kind of run off the cuff?
No, I don't. I'm always kind of tweaking things, but mostly my Facebook is really talking more just about business and life. I don't really talk about LifeVantage much at all, although that is something I'm looking at changing up. And I think, yeah, you definitely need to not be a commercial, right? Like people
Exactly.
need to connect with you. They want to hear. Honestly, I would really encourage you to go to my Facebook page and watch my last couple of videos, because I hit some Facebook lottery and I have gained probably 1,200 new friends in the last 4 days. I don't know what happened, but I got on everybody's people you should know thing. And so I have friend requests coming at me like crazy. So I'm like, okay, I really need to take advantage of this, right? But one of the things people were asking me to be their friend and then instantly asking me to like their page. I don't know. Anyhow, I'm not going to go into it all here, but you can see those videos over there, and I give some good top tactics on Facebook and how to use it. But really, it's that whole like, know, and trust. And honestly, the more you can do video, because I learned this with our food truck, just the exposure was so much different with words than adding a picture, than adding a video. But I have really seen it now in my own relationships with people. Like I I mean, like Jason Kokenzie, I felt like I knew him. I only met him through social media, but we had communicated enough that I felt like I knew him. Part of that is video. You need people to, and you don't have to be me. Like some, Dave saying that I could, I have all this energy, and I do. Like, this fuels me. You guys fuel me, and teaching fuels me. And I absolutely love it. But like, just for people to hear your laugh, to know what you like and don't like, I watched this thing that said, people trust you 70% more if you use your hands. There's like some weird psychological thing where if your hands are hidden behind your back, we're like, do they have a gun? Do they have a knife? Right? Like, this is something just instinctual. And so when we can talk to people like this, it builds relationships. And I've seen it with the people that I talk to online. It's totally different the way I feel about them and how deeply I feel like I know them if they make videos or not. So I would encourage you guys, you can go on Pinterest and get a list of things to go Facebook Live about, but it's the best way to build relationships.
And follow other people, you guys. Follow Melissa. Like I saw Melissa rented an Airbnb, one of her friends' place. Like, I think, is that where you are right now?
No, this is my house, but yeah, I was at Jennifer Bishop's house actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, awesome.
She was already in Cancun, and I'm like, can I stay at your house? It's empty. I need to go there.
Yeah, and that's one of the funny things. So like, she had a place all to herself. She could do video. She could do video after video and record it. And she did 3 business. Those are things that you can do to attract people into knowing to know, like, and trust you. So yeah, anybody else want to ask a question? Bunch of shy people today. Q, did you unmute yourself? Did you have a question?
I do.
Okay, who's that?
Destiny.
All right, Destiny, go ahead, girlfriend.
You seem like my kind of personality type. Like you're a talker, I guess. They said you've got a lot of energy and everything, and I really have that. I also have like diarrhea of the mouth sometimes. So, did you have any of that when you were first starting off, where you just didn't really stay in control of what you were saying, or how much to say, or know when to stop?
I still have that. I still struggle with that, and it depends on who I'm talking to. And now, like, yeah, I tend, I have a thought and it just comes out, and I'm like, really? But then sometimes I'll just say that, and I'll be like, you know what? I'm sorry. I know I just told you like way too much. This is a lot. This is, for most people, this is kind of an overwhelming topic because the science is so new. So I would love to send you this video. I'm gonna stop talking now. Sorry. Whenever we can apologize, that draws people to us anytime, because you're being accountable for who you are. No one apologizes for anything these days, right? So if you're gonna be like, I'm so sorry. I hope that didn't wreck anything between us, and even like, I encourage my team, when you have done that, even like a month later, if like it goes cold, we'll go back in Messenger and just be like, hey, I'm really sorry if I overwhelmed you, if I came off pushy, whatever you might think is going on there. And sometimes you need an outside opinion, because sometimes we think things that aren't actually true, right? But if we have done something, just saying like, I am so sorry, like your relationship means more to me than this business at all. I just think these are amazing products and I love this business and I would love to share it with you if you're open, so just own it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a question. I'll build a little bit, okay? Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you. It's kind of, I'm not sure. Oh, is that Q? Is that who you're talking?
It's Q.
Awesome. Hello.
What up? The question I got for you is, what's your average amount of follow-ups, and how do you go about following up? And I love your energy, by the way. I just want to get that out before you answer me. But yeah, how do you go about following up, and what's your average amount of follow-ups?
Okay, thank you. I think I was really blessed with my key core group of people that signed up pretty quickly. Like, maybe, and I'll tell you, a lot of it I think is just belief. Like, I knew this was going to work. I had seen it work for other people. I saw the science. I know this is going to work for me. If they can do it, I can do it. Right. And I had that belief, and we would share it with some people, and they'd be like, oh, I have this other thing. And my husband's like, oh, they're not in. And I'm like, no, they're in. Just wait. You just give them time. Right. And so I also make sure that I swap up follow-ups with just like, hey, how are you? Right. Like sometimes, sometimes people, I'll send them just a funny joke, you know, or maybe I'll send them, like if it's a horse person, I'll just send them a horse testimonial. Like, I saw this, thought you would love it, and I'll share that. It really, I don't know if I have an average. I have a lot of people that, I mean, I have people on my team that I said, we found something. I am really excited about it. And they're like, we're in. I'm like, you don't really know what you're in. Yeah. And they're like, I trust you. I've known you forever. I trust you. We've been looking for something. You're doing it. I'm doing it. Right. And so there's going to be those people, but they're few and far between. Right. And so other people, I don't know. There's people that, you know, it's 2 years in. One of my top leaders on my team, her mom, you know, 2 years in, just signed up. And she said, you know, I just thought this was going to be another one of those things. I didn't realize how big this was. I thought it was just going to be another one of those things, but we stay consistent, right? We keep doing our business. And those, when we're consistent, those people around us that have been like tiptoeing, like, I don't know, maybe, they're like, wait, they're still doing this. It's working. Like, you know, because everybody just has a different trust level, not even with you personally, but just with the whole world, right? And so some people just takes them, some people are ridiculous, and some people it takes a giant pain in their life before they are ready. So the average, I couldn't really tell you that. I really like, you know, I learned from Michael Huey, I learned from Daniel Bernard, Friday follow-ups, who's on your list, and just reach out to them once a week. You know, for those top people, like I have a list on my wall over here of people I want on my team. And I make sure I'm reaching out to those people on my teams or that I want on my team, make sure I'm consistent with just being in contact, keeping that relationship there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Anybody else? One or two more questions?
Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else? Don't be scared. One or two more.
Tracy had her hand up.
Tracy, go ahead.
I just wanted to say something. You are outstanding, and I am going to follow you, and I'm going to check out your Facebook stuff because I just started. Yeah. So, but no, I won't stalk her. I stalk you. Okay.
All right.
Anyway, so, but you're amazing. Your children are amazing. Bless you for homeschooling. I did it for 1 year, and that's all. What's that name?
This is Joy.
Hey,
Oh, what a great name, Joy.
Great name.
What a great name.
She's waiting for her LifeVantage business. I got a couple that cannot wait for the day. So
You gotta be 18. Gotta be 18. Anyway,
okay,
what I
sorry,
wanted-
Tracy. What was your question? Sorry.
well, it was kind of a question, but I always talk. But when you said herbs, I say natural. And right now, where I'm sitting is in Mazatlan, Mexico. And they do natural, but they do peyote and they do CBD oil. So people look at me, they've seen me for 2 years and they go, oh, you look fabulous. You look so much better. What are you doing? I said, I'm taking 100% natural product. Oh, is it this? Is it that? I said, no. Well, what is it? I said, well, you have to watch something. It's too hard for me to explain. You have to watch something.
I like it.
90% visual, right?
90% visual. And I just sat down with a lady and I showed her the ABC and gave her a product for her husband. And she bought a bottle of the Pet Tandem that I brought down with me. And I had my hand cream with me and I let her try it. And she went, oh, I love how this feels. I want that. And what else do I need? I said, well, you have to watch some videos or you have to talk to somebody. And she goes, no. She said, I don't do videos. I don't talk to people. She said, I trust you. You tell me what I need and I'll just order it.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for her. No, I'm waiting for her diagnosis, her conditions, and then I'm going to talk to Miss Huey, and she's going to advise. Because I looked at her and said, I'm not selling this. Like, I'm not here to sell this. I'm here. And she goes, that's what I get. You're here to help me.
Yeah.
And I said,
Yeah.
yes.
And you know, one thing, like I always, when I give my presentation, I'm always sharing the business and the products, right? But there are some people that come to you and they just want to buy those products from you and they want them right now. And what we have found is that I have people that say, okay, well, let's schedule a time where we can have a presentation. And they're like, no, I want to order right now. I want you to imagine right now that you went to Amazon and you're trying to buy something, okay? And you're trying to click exit and order that product. And this pop-up keeps coming up telling you how to start an Amazon business. And you're just like, just
No.
order the product, right?
Exactly.
You're getting irritated. And after a while, you're like, exit out.
Yep.
Right. And so just remember that, like, there's a time if a person wants to order, let them order. Right.
Yeah, right
Like,
then and there. I tell people that all the time. There's no time like the present to sign the person up. It's so funny. Destiny and I just had this conversation and I see her, she's smiling because she knows. I said, what do you think is the number one thing that you're not doing? And she says, I'm not getting them to sign up. Like they say they want to sign up and then I'm not. And you guys know, there's probably a reason why we say this, and I know Melissa believes this too. There's a reason why Sherry signs up everybody was because she asks them to sign up. And I had a friend of mine a couple years ago, Melissa, Stacy King, that lives in Tampa, Pro 6. I think she was at the Pro 5 Summit when you were at the Pro 5 Summit. And she said this, she said, Michael, you know what? What made the difference in my business is when I started asking people to join. And she said, when I got customers later on down the line, I went back and followed up with them. And I constantly said to them, are you going to keep this to yourself? And she started upgrading people left and right, left and right, left and right.
I love it.
It's why we do the business. Hey, we're getting close to time being up. Is there one more person that might want to ask one more question? Anybody? Anybody? Rolling. Hey, Bert.
Bert, oh my gosh, I love that, man. I'll never forget. I asked a question on a WhatsApp chat thing, and I was in Salt Lake, Utah. I was at the Columbia store at the Outlet Mall, and I get this phone call, and I'm like, who's this? And it was Bert answering my question that I asked on there, and he didn't know who I was at all, and he has had my heart ever since that moment. I just thank you for serving everyone. You are a blessing.
Isn't that amazing? It's amazing how when we think about what we do in this business. And so, Melissa, since there's no more questions, I'm just going to say thank you. I'm going to close up, but I want to do this, and even if you have to go, that's great. But I just want to say we're about done. But here's what I want to say to everybody, okay? And I know, Melissa, maybe you can touch base on this with me as we close out together, is that the biggest thing that I want people to understand right now is, guys, that we have regionals coming. We actually have 3 events coming up, okay? And I want you guys to understand this. I will never miss. I haven't missed one event, but as of this week, I will miss my first event in LifeVantage is Cancun. And I know, Melissa, but let me just explain something to you. I don't feel like I'm missing because we weren't supposed to close on our house 2 weeks early, and we closed and we had to move, and we're right in the middle of the move, and to get up and bolt and leave my wife here to do all this stuff would not be a happy husband. So I sold my ticket, both of our tickets, to a Pro 8, Julie Mai, who didn't have a ticket because her mother passed away. So God works everything out in timing. I will never miss another event. And let me just say this, we have I'm going to be going to Atlanta this month sometime to work with my team up there, which I'm super excited about. And then in March, we have Building Depth and LifeVantage Academy, okay? And I'm going to show you guys this real quick. I pulled it up just so that you guys could see this. And here are the dates and the locations of the regionals, okay? And you guys, look, some of you haven't even registered yet, okay? Let's just say this, okay? Many of our Ohio team, you need to go to Indianapolis, plain and simple. You register now, you get in a group of cars, and you go, right? It's just how we do things. If Melissa can drive halfway around the world with that many kids on a regular basis, then you can do it. And I know Jason heck, Sam Flake is doing it right now. I think he's got like 5 or 6 kids or some crazy number of kids, right? And he's
4, but I mean. Whatever.
How many does he have?
4, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's 2 lefts. But just look at these dates, guys. Lisa and I are going to Jacksonville. Atlanta people are going to Jacksonville. You sign up and you go, right? I know some people that have sacrificed and are going to Building Depth. And one of them is super excited about that. And she's like, Michael, I didn't think I could go. And she's like, I'm just going to go, right? And one thing about that, when you make it, and Melissa knows this, when you make a commitment to do something, the fruit that comes from that multiplies. And then you go back home and you learn. If you want what, and I hate to say this, but Fred Graves told me this from day one. He said, if you want what other people have, you do what they do. And you know what? It's really amazing. Somebody said to me the other day, they came across our YouTube channel. And they said, Michael, I can't believe all the people that you have on your call. I said, do you know why we're able to have these people on the call? Because we've built quality relationships with people. And you know what? Many of you have one event a month that you can go to, LVA, right? And some of you don't even go. Stacy's driven 3 and 4 hours on a regular basis to go to these events, right? Thank God Jason moved. I know Melissa may not like to hear this, but thank God Jason moved to Atlanta, because that market has grown and we're now getting close to 100 people at LVA. And so, guys, and Destiny and I had this conversation. When LVA was taken away from Atlanta, it crushed my business, crushed it. And I never would have had the people that I have there now, like Fred and Beth and Destiny and Wendy and all these people, had we not got LVA back. And Wendy's not on tonight, but she said, you guys remember what Melissa said? You start to miss one meeting, you miss another one, you miss another one. And there's Pro 4s and Pro 5s and Pro 6s that started on these calls with us, and they're nowhere to be found. And you know what? I used to feel sorry for them and want this more for them than they want it for themselves. But Lisa and I made an agreement that we're going to go out and find some Melissa Browns this year. We're going to go out and find some Destinies that really want this bad enough that they're I mean, those of you that don't know this, and Melissa, I'll just say this because I think it's something you would be encouraged by. Destiny's upline is her boss, and he gave her an extra day, switched her day off so that she can have one day during the week where she can do LifeVantage. So, I mean, and
That's a smart boss.
And you know what? You guys know this. I don't work on Sundays ever, right? And yesterday on Super Bowl Sunday, I picked up the phone and called Destiny, because if somebody is passionate about what they're doing, I may not work or do a 3-way phone call, but and you guys know we have our calls on Sunday nights, but I am going to nurture that relationship. I am going to allow that. So guys, look, you see these registration things right here. You see where they're having these events at. You know, even in Canada, they're having some of the events. And guys, let's get signed up. The price is not going to change. It's $47. I think it's $47, right? I'm pretty sure, right? Did I say that right? Melissa's looking at me.
I think that the price is
$49.
$49. That's right, Bert. Bert is right. It's $49, and it's not going to change. So you can go and register. Lisa and I are going to the Jacksonville one. They haven't. I don't know who's going to be speaking yet, but there might be some people we know speaking. Who knows? I don't know yet. But that's kind of awesome. And for those of you, I know some of my people on my team are going to Cancun, so you'll get to see Melissa and connect with her and hear her set Jason straight. But that's what I wanted to share tonight, was just so that you guys, and I had some stuff to share, but God had a different plan, and that's what I like about LifeVantage. Stacy, it'll be there. March in Bangor will be there. It'll be there. I'll make sure that it's on there. And that's what this is about. So you guys have got some things set up to be able to get to these events that are here. And guys, look, Melissa can tell you this, and I'm going to actually let her send us off with something, and then we'll say goodbye. Events, to me, are non-negotiable. And you know what's going to say this? I'm going to encourage her now, because I feel like she's encouraged me. Is that I heard her say the building depth principles, and she didn't even know she was saying it. She talked about staying in control of your business. She talked about consistency of the presentations that she was doing. She talked about always being who she says she is, right? And she talked about attending events. Guys, the system is simple. Building depth is not anything different than what we started from day flipping one. From day one, Paulette and I went to Premier School. We did all those consistent things from day one. We took tear-off sheets and we sat down with people. Nothing has changed. People say, well, I don't know about building depth. Well, when did you join? How do you want to build this business? And look, I know people have a mindset as they're only going to build online. They're only going to do this. Listen, you're going to have people that come to you that don't want to build online, okay? And you're going to have people come to you that want to do both. They want to build offline, or they might only want to be online. Why do you think I teach what I teach? I say this with humble sincerity. The reason that Marcel tells me that our LVAs have been, the ones I've been teaching have been phenomenal, is because I don't teach one principle. I know there's a lot of people out there, and I want people to learn. I learned from Robin Summit. Destiny and I talked about this. If we have a friend who said he's going to sign up and he's all in, I ask him right then and there, hey, who are your first 10 people do you want to do this? And then I go get them. If he doesn't sign up, I go after those 10. And I say, hey, look, you know, Joe, two of your friends want to sign up. Do you want me to sign them up, or do you want to sign them up? You better get signed up today, because tomorrow I'm signing them up and they're going underneath me. So Melissa, you want to send us off with a quick word?
Yeah, well, first, thanks so much for having me. Seriously, it was a huge honor. And this is just, I think you can all see that I absolutely love doing this. So thank you. You know, building depth, I love all the things. Like, I went to Be Free. I don't know if you guys went to that thing. Like, when we first started, we were so blessed to be in Utah for a bunch. So we went to like LVAs, and we went to Be Free, and we went to Building Depth, and that really built our confidence. And I really did my team a disservice in the beginning, and I didn't push events so much because there were so many, I felt like, and I'm like, my people don't have that much money, and it's so far away from, like, they were up in North Dakota coming down to southern Utah. Like, that's a long drive. Oh yeah, I got some people on my team that drive all over the place. They're amazing, but I felt guilty asking that of them. But then my problem was that I had never been without building depth. Like, right? Like, you guys heard, this is how I saw the business, was there. And I heard those stories. I heard them tell their testimonies over and over and over. And my husband and I have traded off and gone to every single one, except for the last one. We had some drama, but that's 6 kids. So, but you know, we swapped back and forth, and we were always at those. And I didn't realize what an effect it had on me. You know, because I'd never been without it. I never knew what it was like to be without it. And I realize now, hearing those stories and seeing them and seeing the failure, and hearing Dan Mullering, like, not getting a distributor for 2 years, right? Like, hearing that, and it's like, okay, like, oh, I've had a slow month. Suck it up, Melissa. Like, we got this, you know? And when you hear that stuff over and over, and then you go out to dinner and you're sitting with them and you ask all the questions, because I promise you, I ask the most questions of anyone, and that's one of the main reasons I'm flying, okay? You guys ask all the questions. Bug them. They want to teach you. You know, it is like a privilege. Like, I'll see people, oh, I just spaced out his name. So some Pro 10 guy that I really like, I've watched his videos. I saw him at a training one time, and I just said, hey, I love your videos. Thanks for what you do. And he was like, yeah, no problem. Like, he needs to hear that too, right? We all need to be encouraged. It does not matter what number is next to your name. Everybody wants to hear, thank you, I appreciate you. And when you are asking these elites, when you're just like, dude, I love what you share. Can you tell me how you do this? They want to. It's a blessing to them to share to you. So don't feel like you're bothering anyone. You're not. And if you are, those people need to get over themselves. So
right,
you're helping them. So, but I absolutely love what they teach there. And I think it helps you get a vision of what your business is actually going to look like, right? Because we can have all these ideas in our head of what it's going to look like or what somebody else did to make their business work. And it's just like the highlight reel, right? Like I don't go on Facebook and share that I just got in a huge fight with my husband. Like that's not going to bless or encourage anyone. But just know that like I'm married, so that happens, right? And it's the same thing
Really?
with all of us building our businesses. We don't often talk about the garbage, but they do talk about that at Building Depth. And that is what I love. And I think the failure stories encourage me 4,000 times more than the success stories. But the success comes, right? Like it's like fail, 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 fail. Oh my gosh, this sucks. I'm going to quit. Wait, oh my gosh, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And that's what you get there. And I promise you, once again, it's like showing up on these videos, on these calls. You might not even need this. You might be on fire and you might just like, you're driven and you've got it figured out and your confidence is sky high. But it is your downlines. Because if you want your people to have the confidence, the drive, then you want to go and bring them with you, encourage them to come. And maybe you go alone over and over and over till they come. But that's the consistency that we're talking about. When you consistently show up, when you consistently put in the work, your people watch that and they're going to do the same thing. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Melissa, can you guys thank Melissa? Those of you that are on, give her a little hand. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. You guys, yeah. So who's going to be in Cancun? Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Oh, there's some people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
and I'm horrible about remembering faces. Like, I mean, when we hear Bert's laugh, right? Like, you're like, okay, I got it. Right. But a lot of people, you kind of have to just shake me and my gray hair stands out. So you'll see the gray hair and then you'll be like, oh, that's that lady that was on our call, and then introduce me. And if you don't remember my name, my feelings will not be hurt at all because I promise you I won't remember yours. Sorry.
Next
thank you
year, I'll
guys.
see you.
Melissa, thank you so much. God bless you guys. It's Monday. It's past my time for you guys. And look, please do me a favor. Go register for these next couple events. Get a group of people going to these events, guys. Lisa and I, as I said, we're going to Jacksonville. I am actually teaching LifeVantage Academy in Bethesda, Maryland. I've never been to Maryland before. I'm super freaking excited. I get to be with Amy Homewood, and I get to be with a lot of different people in that area that are in there. I'm still hearing about how incredible the one that I taught in New Hampshire was, and they had massive momentum this last month and now into February. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm running. I am running. I am running. So if you guys want to catch me, let's go. Love you guys. Have a great night. Thanks again, Melissa.
Yep. Thank you. Good night.
Everybody's awesome.